Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a review on the brand new Fenty Beauty Foundation. I've been waiting to try this. So they messaged me, sent me some PR, and I picked out a few shades to see which one would work for me, and it just came in the mail. I have been tracking this package in anticipation of filming this because I am so excited for this launch. I love the first Fenty foundation. I love their skin tint, and this one sounds more up my alley for the claims of it. I have 3 shades here. I thought 290 would probably suit me best, but I decided to pick up a couple other undertones to see if something would match me a little bit better. We also have the foundation brush here and some other products, which I'm not going to try in this video because one is a sunscreen, and I want to make sure the foundation doesn't break me out, and SPF can break me out. The first Fenty foundation I loved, but I did find I would break out from it. I don't break out from the skin tint, and I will keep you guys posted on this foundation, whether my skin likes it or not, but I am so excited for this. So this is the Fenty Beauty Soft Lit Naturally Luminous Hydrating Longwear Foundation. It retails for $54 Canadian, slightly more than the standard 30 milliliters of product, coming in at 32 milliliters. It's a medium coverage, waterproof, reduces shine for a notch above natural finish. It hydrates, brightens, and improves the look of skin tone immediately and over time while resisting sweat, humidity, and transfer. I have shade 290, which is a neutral, 200, which is a cool pink, and 190, which is a warm undertone. I chose these specific shades based on my shade 11 in the skin tint. They had a helpful little finder that I could use to kind of match based on that. And swatching them, I do think the warm one matches me pretty good, but I'm going to start with the neutral, which is the deepest one in 290. I do have the 145 foundation brush that they sent over, which I'm very curious to try. This is what the 145 looks like. See that shape there? I did purchase the 110 back when the first foundation came out. It is clean, but it is stained because of the bristles, but this is the comparison between the 110 and the 145. I personally think I'm gonna like the new foundation brush more just because it's more dense, has more surface there. I just like the shape of it. It's kind of similar to what I typically reach for. We're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna zoom you guys in so you get nice and close. You can see how this applies to the skin. We'll have a wear test. I definitely want to test out the waterproof claim. I think it's gonna be raining a couple days this week, so maybe we can stand outside in the rain. Not warm enough to go swimming here yet, but at the end of the month, I could definitely test this out in Florida. I feel like the claims of this match that weather for me. So this hopefully would hold up to that sort of weather, so maybe I can bring this along with me for my trip. Enough about the foundation, let's zoom you in and get this on the skin. I do have a couple blemishes on my skin, some generalized redness, texture, pores, you name it. We got it all going on my skin, so you can see how foundation truly looks like with this natural lighting and on my imperfect skin. No filters ever in my videos, so we're gonna go ahead and apply this to the skin. It says you can apply it a couple ways. You can use a sponge if you want a more sheer coverage, use 1 pump. And then if you want to build up the coverage, it is a medium, but you can build it up. It says to use 2 pumps and the brush. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the brush. It's my preference. I'm gonna start with 1 pump. This is what it looks like. I love the undertone of it. Pretty much looks spot on to my self-tan, which I will link my current self-tan that I'm using down below in case you're curious. I think I'm gonna start doing that because I'm often trying new ones and then you guys wonder and then I don't have it written down so I don't remember. So I will have this one written down for you. We're going to apply this to the skin. I'm not using any primer and I won't be using setting spray either, just so that when I test out the wear, it's strictly the foundation. It does say to moisturize your skin well prior to using, so I do have moisturizer on, but I don't have any kind of long wear primer, pore filling primer, anything like that to help with the wear of this foundation. This looks like a cross between a liquid and a gel, blending in really nicely. I haven't brought any down my neck and I feel like it's blending in quite well. In terms of this being a neutral, I would say this is a more warm leaning neutral than cool. I do see more yellow in this particular foundation than some other neutrals. You can kind of see in the video, I can definitely tell. Now we're gonna build this up. I thought 1 layer looked really beautiful on the skin. And you can tell it is building up to a medium. I wouldn't say this is full coverage with 2 layers because you can still see my blemishes, but it looks very natural on the skin. Definitely needs to set still. I love the packaging though, the shape, so cool. No scent that I can detect, which is great. I used about 2.5 pumps to get to where we are currently. I love the shape of the brush. I love that it kind of has that built-in angle into it. It's really nice, especially for getting around my eyebrows. Just for getting it nice and close because I do my eyebrows first. I definitely like this foundation brush more than the 110. So this is what 2 layers looks like. It has a beautiful natural looking glow to it. It's not too radiant for me. It doesn't look greasy. This does feel hydrating on the skin. It hasn't fully set on my skin. I definitely feel like this foundation needs powder to set. It is transferring unless it takes a longer time to set on my skin, but I feel like for sure just how it's feeling on my skin, because it is so hydrating, I'm gonna need to set this with powder, which I would anyways. I'm gonna give it a little bit more time to settle down to see if it's not going to transfer and it just needs more time to sink into my skin. But I'm gonna keep it at these 2 layers. It is a medium coverage. It's not full coverage. I will need to correct some spots with concealer on my face, but that's typically my preferred sort of foundation, is a medium coverage and just to correct what I need to correct. Doesn't feel like a mask, doesn't look like a mask, has that luminous finish, which it claims to have, naturally luminous. It's really beautiful on the skin. I think it's really pretty. It looks like my skin, just more even. You don't see any of the redness now, and it actually matches my self-tan. But I do feel like the color is still not perfect match for me. I'll have to go and swatch a couple more shades just because I feel like this neutral is pulling a little bit more warm than I personally like for a neutral. But all in all, I'm happy with the depth of this foundation. I think it's not too dark for me. I was worried it might be a little bit by swatching it on my hand. It still transfers for me. I will have to set this. I gave it time to kind of settle into the skin, but there's no way that with how hydrating this is in the finish and the formula that I can just leave this totally unset. I wouldn't anyways. I always set my foundation even if it's just lightly. I personally can't get away with it, but just wanted you to see that it's definitely transferring without being set on my fingers. Using one of my favorite concealers, the Hourglass. Just gonna see how it plays with this foundation. And I wanna see the finish when I cover up the spots that I need to cover up. Just highlighting where I typically would. Using the Rougher B01 brush to blend everything out. I love it with that concealer. That's exactly what I needed. It just completes the look, having that corrected for me, and makes the foundation look that much better, in my opinion. I love how these 2 are pairing together. It's always nice when your favorite products play nicely with new products. So that's what concealer and foundation looks like on the skin. I'm loving the finish. Apart from the undertone for me, I'm loving it so far. So I'm gonna go off camera, quickly finish off the rest of my makeup, come back, show you what everything looks like set with powder, with my blush, my lips done, everything. So you can see the completed look, see how it looks with everything together, and we'll talk a little bit more about this foundation. I'm back. I quickly finished off my face. Everything played beautifully with the foundation. I love it even more now that I set it. It feels in place and locked down. It doesn't feel heavy in the slightest, and I feel like because I used a little bit lighter of a powder, it kind of toned down that yellow for me. You can still see that I'm a little bit more pink than this foundation. It's nothing that I can't work with, honestly, and I feel like all the other makeup that I used on top worked so beautifully as well. You'll probably be seeing me on a couple different days just because I want to test out some of the claims of this. It's the perfect day to wear this outside. It's slightly humid. It's pretty warm today too. So I'm going to go outside, test this out. I do have a long day ahead of me, so I will be doing a couple photos throughout the day to show you how it wears. I'm not going to be sitting inside. This is going to be truly put to the test for outdoors, which is good. We can test if it transfers, how long it wears and possibly do the waterproof test another day, just because I want to see how this wears without throwing water in my face. This foundation definitely needs to be a multi-day wear test to test out the claims of it. So first impression of this, I just put it on my skin. I love how it looks. Apart from the undertone, which I've already mentioned numerous times, so far the foundation feels and looks good on my skin. I do not think it is transfer proof without powder. Just in my experience, I let it sit on my skin for quite some time and it still was coming off on my hands. Now we're good to go. It's fully set and I'm not having that same transfer that it's coming off on my fingers for my foundation. The foundation powder combo, we look flawless. Natural luminous. I can see that kind of peeking through the powder, how this does have that natural sort of luminosity, which I love. So far, right now, if this finish could last the entire day, this would be my ideal finish for a foundation for me. Not it on its own, but it's set with powder. And I didn't put any sort of setting spray to melt everything in, or I didn't use any sort of primer to help with the perfection of my skin. This is simply just how everything looks set on the skin. So I'm excited to see how this wears throughout the day with my usual kind of makeup and routine. All these products have played nicely, so I'm really excited to see the wear test for this. That's going to be it for now. I'm going to check back in either a day, tonight. We'll see what happens for this video, and I will update you on if there's any sort of wear issues and my overall thoughts on this foundation. I am back. I've been testing out this foundation for the past 3 days, and I wanted to give you some updates on how this has been wearing, my thoughts on the claims, and all that good stuff that I know you want to hear for an update on this foundation. This is a long wearing foundation, and I would say in fact it is waterproof, at least for a rain test, because I was caught in the rain and I had no streaks, no spots, which is fantastic. I will show you all my wear test pictures. I thought this wore beautifully throughout the day. Oils didn't break through, it was consistent, and the foundation didn't transfer or budge, it didn't go patchy. It just wore evenly and beautifully throughout the day and lasted throughout rain and being caught in the rain. I am wearing it today and I decided to go with shade 190, which is their warm shade. However, I do actually think, even when I swatch this, that this actually looks less warm than the neutral that I have. This might be a better shade for me, honestly, than the other one. I was a little bit more tan a few days ago and I have since faded in my self-tan journey. So I wanted to use a different shade to show you guys in this video. So I am using 190, which is a warm undertone, but I don't think it's too warm for my skin tone, which is fantastic. So I love the color of this one too. I'm wearing it a little bit more naturally today as well than how I wore it full glam the first day that I wore the foundation. So I wanted to show you kind of both ways how makeup plays with it. I've had no issues with the makeup that I've chosen to use with this product. I feel like it all blends beautifully on the skin, doesn't look patchy, doesn't lift. So it's a really nice formula, really easy to work with in my opinion, and I think it feels really nice on the skin. I do stand by still having to set this with powder. I don't believe the transfer claim of this foundation unless you're setting it. So this foundation on its own is definitely going to transfer. It never fully sets on my skin unless I use some powder. And today also I did a little bit of setting spray to show you how I would normally wear this foundation. I like to set everything in place, have everything melted together. Looks a little less matte than the first day and just worn a little bit more sheer than I did the first day. So you can see kind of what it looks like on the skin. And I do really like this foundation. I think a lot of you are gonna like it too if you like similar foundations to me. In terms of the foundations I've tried recently, I still think my MAC Studio Fix is my personal favorite, though this is definitely gonna be in a favorites this month because I really like the formula. It checks all my boxes for me, especially the wear is the #1 thing a foundation has to do for me is wear properly throughout the day. I don't want to deal with any sort of fading or transfer. That's definitely a no for me. And this one is just really beautiful. Easy to wear, easy to work with, and definitely gets my stamp of approval. So I hope you guys enjoyed this foundation review, all the little wear test photos in this video to show you how this was looking on my skin throughout the day. I am unsure though if this broke me out a little bit. I do have a blemish on my cheek that I'm just going to continue to test and update you. It has been a few days wear, and I'm not sure what this was caused by. So we're going to have to keep playing and see, because I normally don't get anything on my cheek. That's usually a product reaction for me. So I'm hoping it's not this foundation, because I did have that issue with the first one, but I'm thinking it's not. I think I know what did it. I don't think it's the foundation. So I just need a few more days to make sure this isn't causing me any sort of acne or breakouts. But I will update you guys in the description box when I fully know what it is. But I'm thinking it's not the foundation. I'm definitely thinking it is a skincare product that I recently incorporated into my routine. If there's any of your questions that I did not address in this video, please let me know in the comment section below, and I will get back to you on the things you want to know about this foundation, because I'm thinking that a lot of you are really going to like it. I personally love this foundation more than the first foundation that came out. It just feels lighter on my skin than that one. I love the finish of it more. I love how this has that soft lit finish to the skin. I think it's really beautiful, really flattering on the skin. So many good things about this foundation, and they have a ton of shades to choose from, which is amazing. So hopefully you find a shade that works for your skin. If you've tried this, let us know in the comment section below your thoughts, your skin type, so we can help everyone out in the comments. You guys are so good about helping each other out, so thank you so much for your engagement in the comment section on this review. If there's another foundation or product you want me to test out next, let me know in the comments as well. I love to get to your product requests. I know this was a big one for a lot of you, and I wanted to do a dedicated as opposed to throwing this in a trying new makeup, because I wanted to show you some multi-day wear tests in this video. So I hope this helps you out. Thank you so much for watching, and if you've not already, I would absolutely love for you to subscribe to my channel by hitting the red subscribe button, the bell to be notified of all my future videos, and I will see you guys in my next one.